If there's something that always blows my mind, it's how few traditional Marvel character beaten ups we actually have. Aside from Captain America and the Avengers and Konami's X-Men games made like 10,000 years ago, the world's most famous heroes have barely been explored by beaten up developers. Thankfully, Tribute Games decided to fix this historical mistake. Hello and welcome my friends to The Flying Kick. I am Savino and today we're checking out Marvel Cosmic Invasion to see if all these years waiting for a Marvel beaten up were actually worth it. When it comes to the story, Marvel Cosmic Invasion doesn't waste much of your time. But before anything, I just want to make it clear that I'm not a huge Marvel fan, so I don't really know if this is an original story or something based on the comics. The game tells the story of Annihilus, who decided to conquer the universe using some parasitic larvae to take control of people, and after bringing chaos and destruction to several planets, it's finally Earth's turn. Obviously, Annihilus wasn't expect a group of superhumans to show up and try to put an end to his plans. The story is very simple, but it's told through beautiful pixel art comic-style panels. Just like in Shredder's Revenge, these panels will appear before and after each stage, adding small dialogues to move the plot forward. It's a fun little story, but nothing you will miss if you decide to skip the dialogues. Visually, well, there isn't even much to say. If you know Tribute Games work, you know exactly what to expect. Extremely well made and expressive characters, highly detailed and colorful stages, and of course, excellent animations and special effects. And of course, excellent parallax scrolling. Marvel obviously is no different. The game is very, very beautiful, full of cool places to look at and packed with details that not only enrich the world but also help to tell the game's story. By the way, something that really caught my eye in this game is how colorful the environments are. Recently, I've seen a lot of pixel art beaten ups whose background are a bit more washed out than the characters exactly to make them stand out, and I've always found that kind of meh. Here, the environments are just as vivid as the character, and at no point you lose track of your character. The color palette was very well thought out, and at no point will your character blend into the background or the chaos that will certainly happen on your screen. The characters also look great, all 15 playable characters. You will notice small touches like Storm's hair blowing in the wind, Venom's ghost strands wiggling as he moves. It's very cool. And of course, with these many characters, there's a lot to appreciate. The same can be said about the enemies, even though they don't have a huge variety, as we will see later. The enemies you will find are also full of personality thanks to Tribute's excellent animation work. Marvel is a beautiful game. It managed to be more beautiful than TMNT, and watching all the chaos on your screen with visual effects popping up everywhere is a unique experience. And as for sound effects and soundtrack, Marvel, as expected, doesn't disappoint. The sound effects are the best when it comes to beaten up. The impact of your hits is as arcade as possible and has that delicious crunch of bones being broken. Unfortunately, the sound effects aren't exactly very varied, and you will hear the same impact sounds no matter which character you choose or which enemy you're hitting. However, there are some small differences here since each character finishes their combo in a unique way. So you will hear thunder on Storm's final hit or the sound of the air being cut by Wolverine's claws before hitting your enemy. It's really good. The game also has some voice lines during gameplay, especially when you use your special and during cutscenes. I really can't tell if the actors are the same from some Marvel show, but what I can say is that they did an excellent job portraying the characters. As I said, I'm not a huge fan, but I like the Storm's commanding voice, Logan's roughness, and Black Panther's calm confidence. Now, something that didn't excite me as much here was the soundtrack. I'm not saying it's bad at all the tracks here are very well made, but unfortunately, none were really spectacular. They are action, adventure tracks, perfect to accompany the on-screen action, but nothing in them is memorable enough to stick with you. Well, for me at least. But be that as it may, depending on how many people you play with, the music will really take a back seat thanks to the cacophony that will come from your speakers. Punches, voices, yelling, there will be so many things happening at the same time that you will hardly pay attention to the music, and since the game doesn't have a jukebox, it becomes even harder to listen to the music carefully. Now we get to what really matters. Combat and gameplay. If you've played Shredder's Revenge, you already have an idea how things work here. You have a map that shows your progress in the game and that you can use to replay stages you've already completed. At some points you have to choose between two paths on the map, but this is not the same as an alternate routes, it's just the game giving you the chance to choose which of the two stages you want to play first. Which is a novelty, since Shredders didn't have something like that. Each stage will also have mini challenges to complete, and they are as varied as possible and will certainly increase the replay value of the game a lot, since some are specific to certain characters. They are simple tasks like avoiding taking damage at a certain moment in the game, defeating a certain number of enemies with a certain characters, and things like that. Again, it's something we had already seen in Shredder's Revenge, but something I consider an excellent addition to the game. I know very well how many hours I spent trying to complete all the challenges with the turtles. The stages also have hidden objects for you to find, as well as other secrets like hidden characters who can give you a little help recovering your health. There's also a green cube which you can find in the stages and which will serve to unlock some extras ranging from different colors for your heroes to modifiers for arcade mode, which we will discuss shortly. When it comes to combat, Cosmic Invasion is impressive. The feeling of every impact on your enemy's face is extremely satisfying, and the various ways you have to finish off your enemies make everything even better. But let's start from the beginning. In Cosmic Invasion, to begin with, you have a good arsenal at your disposal. You have a basic attack, a strong attack, which you will go into more detail about shortly, your jump, which can also be flight depending on the character, a dodge, and your special attack. You can also run and attack while running. And of course, you have your button to change characters, which is the most interesting mechanic in this game. Cosmic Invasion allows, as in certain fighting games, for you to choose two characters that can be switched during the game whenever you want. But that's not all. The second character can also help you during battles, assisting the player with some moves. And there are several different moves. Let me explain better. To switch characters during the game, you just press the tag team button, but if you press it along with any other button, your partner will unleash an attack that will vary depending on which button you press. I can't list all the attacks each character can perform here. After all, each of the 15 characters will have their own attacks, 4 in total, which would make this review very long. But what you really need to know is that these attacks are essential for extending your combos and attacking enemies that are out of your reach. But there's a catch. Calling your partner to fight will consume a bit of your special, so it's good to plan well and always use it at the best possible moment. Your second character will also be your only extra life here. Each character has only one life, so if one dies, you have to finish the stage with the other. Another important thing here that you need to know about is your strong attack. For each character, this attack will work in a specific and often limited way. For example, characters with ranged attack like Iron Man, Storm, Spider-Man have a limited number of these attacks that need time to recharge. Others like She-Hulk, Captain America and Wolverine have an unlimited number of these attacks, not needing to recharge them. You may have also noticed that I didn't list grabs when I talked about your moves. That's because not every character can grab enemies. Grabs are the strong attack for some characters like She-Hulk and Wolverine, and although I understand why the devs went this way, it's something I think is sorely missing for each and every character. But even without grabs, the feel when playing with these characters is pretty good. And of course, none of this would matter if it weren't for the excellent enemy AI. Here, even though the enemy variety isn't very large, as we will see shortly, they are smart enough to keep you busy. They will surround you whenever they get the chance, they will complete each other's attacks, and most of them are very good at knocking you out of the air if you think flying will keep you safe. Bosses are not that hard. Some have some gimmicks that make them immune to your attacks, but nothing annoying or anything. Another fantastic thing here is how well multiplayer is integrated. This was something I praised a lot in Shredder's Revenge and something that made me very happy to see implemented here. To join or open a multiplayer match, all you need to do is press a button while on the map. From there, you can choose a rune or start your own, either open to anyone or invite only. It's very practical. Marvel has a plenty of content for you to enjoy. Besides story mode, there's also arcade mode, which can be very varied thanks to the collection of modifiers it offers. You can select several different modifications ranging from the game's difficulty, which isn't present in the story mode, double HP for enemies and bosses, and even the number of enemies per encounter. There's everything here to make the game's challenge exactly how you like it. And this was something I found pretty interesting. Personally, I found the story mode very easy. During all my time with it, I only died once, and even then it was because I didn't switch characters when one was about to die. However, for Marvel fans who aren't used to this type of game, this is very good, as they can enjoy story mode without major headaches. For the more hardcore players, the arcade mode is unlocked right after completing the first stage, so if you want a bigger challenge right away, it's easy. But of course, the game has its little problems. Personally, I found the game a bit slow, even though there are very fast characters like Spider-Man. In general, your characters don't move with much agility. The absence of a vertical dodge is also sorely missed, as is the freedom to run in any direction instead of only horizontally. I also found the variety of enemies a bit low, as I said previously. You will see the same insectoids and guys in hazmat suits throughout your gameplay. On the other hand, these enemies will present new attacks in the final stages, which bring some variety to all the visual repetition. The game is also a bit long. 16 stages is a bit too much in my opinion. However, I found this game much more pleasant to play for long periods than Shredder's Revenge, even playing with the same pair of heroes the whole time. Thanks to the tag button, the combat here is much more varied than Shredder's ever was. For $30, 27 if you consider the launch discount, I think this game is really worth it. Even though 2025 hasn't been a fantastic year for the genre, with few titles that deserve highlights, Marvel is easily one of the best games in recent years and one you will certainly play for a long time. It's an easy recommendation from me, since this one definitely gets the Flying Kick seal of approval. And that's it for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the review, and sorry for the late review, but Tribute and I had a communication problem, and the key, which was supposed to arrive a week ago, only arrived yesterday. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more beaten up in your lives. I will be back soon with 2 more reviews of smaller games that came out recently, but until then, I hope you all have great days, and remember, keep beaten up.